Okay, everybody. This is the first ever Cigar Peg Chapter Ambassador Zoom call. Thank you very much for being here. I'm pretty excited. And we're going to start off with Michael Goldberg, who, oh, there you are. Oh, Dan, good to see you. You know, we were talking about this, and here's the reality. Everybody has a story, and part of, I think, what we're going to do to achieve influence in people is talk about our cigar peg story. So, Michael, we'll lead off with you talking about your cigar peg story, and then we'll get into some of the particulars.
Very good. Well, good day, everybody. I'm going to kind of keep it low. I'm actually in a coffee shop today. Bad weather in this area, so it kind of threw my schedule. I was actually considering wearing my cigar peg T-shirt, the bar T-shirt, but then everybody would think that I'm still behind the bar now, and most are convinced that I actually am the cigar peg full-time bartender. But on some occasions, I speak too. But my story as it relates to the cigar peg, and I share it every year at First Timers, is simply I wanted to, and I'm a network. I teach networking skills, and going to the convention really for the first and then second time as a networker, I felt a bit isolated because everybody's in their own cliques and doing their own thing, and I was overwhelmed by this whole NSA convention thing. And because I was connected to the Philadelphia chapter and Avish and some other people that are still players there, they said, you got to come to the Cigar Peg. They said, it's a group of people. They're like it's like the cool kids, and kind of describe the whole thing in terms of, you know, we have a suite that everybody goes to every night. It's a big fundraising thing. There's a philanthropic aspect to it. And I was just sold on the whole group community thing. And then once I got involved in the whole group community thing, I realized the bar is a mess. And there should be an orderly way for people to consume adult beverages. And having a bartending background and being very organized, I kind of promoted myself as the bartender, and Ed let me do that. And I took over the bar. And now it became, not only do I have this community, but I have control over this community. And everybody's got to talk to me. And it became that. And then it became fundraising. Like, you know, there's actually money connected to this, and there's some really good causes that are connected to this. There's the NSA Foundation that realizes some money as a result of some of the fundraising efforts of the Cigar Peg. And then it's personal for me, is that I lost my mom almost 3 years ago to Parkinson's disease. And there's a chunk of money every year that gets donated really generously by Ed and the Cigar Peg. That's to great causes, and the Parkinson's Foundation happens to be one of those causes. So for me, it's really just become a normal thing every year, to be active behind the bar, to be active in the fundraising, but also to collaborate with Ed and all of you who I may or may not know all that well, had it not been for this community called the Cigar Peg. So there's a lot of places you can take this from. You can take this from, it's a great community of just cool people. We get to network together. Some of us get to smoke cigars together, but you're having laughs and a good time at a very social setting. And by the way, you get to trade best practices. So if I need to know something about media relations, I know Jess Todfeld, my buddy, I'm going to reach out to him, and he's going to be, you know, the expert. And I'm going to say, Jess, you know what, and he's going to give me, you know, his smarts. And the same thing with Sierra, whomever it is, right? And so there's that. But then to me, there's a dotted line towards the giving back and the philanthropy and all that sort of thing. So I think if more people within NSA and within the chapter level learned about that aspect of it without thinking that it's this kind of bad boy or bad girls club, I think more people would probably go to convention potentially, but more of the people that are going to convention, I think, would get more involved in the Cigar Peg. And it's kind of really what the goal is here. And that's straight from behind the bar, kids.
Thank you, Michael. So, I see Richard's on too. Hey, Richard. And Lisa made it, and I don't know who 917 area code is, but whoever's at 917 area code made it. So again, hey, thanks to everybody. Thanks everybody for being here. This and Mike, thank you for sharing your story. And why Michael and I talked about this is that each of you have your story on how you came to Cigar Peg and why you're involved with Cigar Peg. And I would just encourage you to use that story when you're communicating with people at your chapter level. And so, as I've told several of you that I've talked to on the phone, I mean, this is our 20th anniversary this year. We started in 1999. And, you know, for a lot of years, it was kind of like a struggle because there was a number of people in NSA leadership that didn't want the Cigar Peg to be. And, you know, here we are 20 years later, kind of last man standing. So that's not really an issue anymore. And now with our 20th anniversary, it's like, you know, how do we launch? Where do we go from here? And with the help of all of you, everybody that's on this call today, and some others that we're going to try to identify as chapter ambassadors, it's somehow for you to get the word out at your chapter. And you know, as I've told a number of people, I don't want to dictate and, you know, how to do this. I would just, you know, try to communicate the message. Hey, find a way at your chapter. And if some years, you know, the president's going to be a nice person and some years they're not. Some years the president's going to, you know, let you have a minute or two stage time, sometimes not. Some years, maybe the president is the ambassador, like with Stephen. And so, and also, let's see, Dwight isn't on because he's in India or something like that, but Dwight is going to be next year's LA chapter president. So he's our ambassador. So it's basically what we're looking at. When I was on the phone with Richard told me, he says, hey, I'd like to have a list of all the other ambassadors. So I implemented that. You all got that. I assume everybody got that? Just give me a, yeah, okay, good. Talking with Rick Goodman the other day, he said, hey, why don't we start doing some content videos and do webinars? And then that way we can put that on the Cigar Peg website and start off with the auction celebrities and, you know, just go from there. And then that gives people another reason to talk to people in the chapter. Hey, Jerome, good to see you. And so so that's what we're looking at doing. You know, and basically what this call is number one, I want to make sure that everybody knows and that everybody first, please make sure that you're signed up to all 4 of our social media outlets, meaning I sent you this, meaning Twitter, the LinkedIn group, the Facebook group, and the Facebook page. Encourage people in your chapter to sign up for the same. And then also I would encourage everybody to go to the Cigar Peg website, you know, look at, you know, the history of Cigar Peg, look at, just noodle through the site and try to get yourself as acquainted with all the content as possible. And with that, now it's kind of turning it over to you. What are some of your thoughts? What are some of your needs as to what you think you need to make this thing happen? And if anybody wants to, Barry, go ahead.
Well, I took the list that you created on the Word document.
Okay.
I put it into an Excel CSV file. So if anybody wants that, it makes it really easy to import it into whatever CRM database you're using. And then that's maybe something that we can edit to make sure that I get it all right. And if we add or lose people, that could become a living, breathing document.
That's a great idea. Make a note of that. Okay. So for now, would you just take that and forward it back to everybody on that list?
Sure.
Okay. Hold on just a second. Yeah, Excel and I are not really good friends. So
We still love you.
Guy, I'll tell you, certain software I just don't do well with. I don't do well with Excel, and I don't do well with video editing software. Those are my two Achilles heels. Most others I seem to do okay with. Other thoughts, other questions? Now, some of you also, just to let you know, let me grab over here. I can't. Oh, okay. I forgot. I forgot who I was sending this to. Now I remember. It's to Dawn. So this is a Cigar Peg shirt that I know I've sent a few of you guys shirts, and so I have I've got quite a bit. Well, not that much, but I got a bit of Cigar Peg wear left here from various events. I think I might have sent Kit a shirt, maybe Richard. I've lost track of who. But if you want any of the leftover, or like this one here, it says Cigar Peg Philanthropy Through Fun. If you send me a note with, guys, send me a note with what size shirt you wear, and I'll dig through and see what I have. Gals, if you send me a note with what size men's shirt, and there's a few women's shirts. So if you send me a note giving me both a men's size and a women's size, I'll go through and whatever I have here, as far as some of the back benefactor shirts, like that one from this one here that I don't know what happened, but this one from Orlando where I've got the really cool embroidered. There we go. I don't know how I did it, but I so overdosed on buying shirts for that. I don't know what I did. But anyway, so there's various things. And then also, if you want past event T-shirts to give away, send me a note. And what I'll do is just send me a note and make sure it is, as long as the mailing or shipping address that's on that list is correct, I'll ship them to that address. So if you want them, I'll go back in and gather up some men's, some women's, from various years. And if you want to use them at your chapter meeting as like some kind of prizes, I don't know what the heck you're going to do. Maybe ask trivia questions about Cigar Peg. I don't know, So I have this stuff here. You just have to tell me. I'm not going to just send it out to everybody just to send it. But if you want it, let me know. Send me a note. And if you want some kind of a shirt for yourself that I have, I'll do that. And T-shirts, I'll do that. And, because hopefully over the next few meetings for your chapter, hopefully you can make as many of them as possible. You can get your chapter president to let you have a minute or two, or at the very least, you can wear a Cigar Peg shirt that will get people asking why you're wearing a Cigar Peg shirt. Fair enough?
Ed, do you have any kind of cards, pamphlets, flyers, or something that while we're milling around the meeting, we could literally put in somebody's hand?
No. But I can like go to Vistaprints and what are you talking about, Barry? Just like a business card type thing or a postcard or what?
Well, just anything that you can put in someone's hands so that they've
physical card.
Got something. I've got a bit of an odd community, so people don't like to go public with who they are or what they're into.
It may be cheap just to do business cards, Cigar Peg business cards that, talk about just have a little bit of Cigar Peg stuff, the logo on the front, and then, join us at Influence, website, sign up here type of thing. That way it's cheap, you can pass it out, and then it makes it really, there's not a whole lot of design work that goes into it.
Yeah, I don't have no problem with that. I go to Vistaprints and print up a bunch of something. I don't know. I think that sounds reasonable. What else do you guys need?
I'm just thinking, I remember when I was first invited to the Cigar Peg back, I hope I'm unmuted. Okay, there we go. Back in 2008. And somebody basically said to me, and I'm just thinking of this for future, they basically said there's this like secret group. If it's felt very exclusive. And the way to go is like someone has to invite you or you just wouldn't know. So you're like, oh my gosh, so somebody said, if you want, you can come with me. I was like, this is fantastic that you're getting invited to something exclusive. So this is just a thought that I'm sharing with you guys that maybe we could use in some way, that you need to be invited. Obviously, if we speak in front of our chapter, we've just invited people and we're their connection. That if you use my name, you have now been invited. You're going to the convention. You can use my name. I'm giving you the invite, and maybe even the T-shirt. And it's nice that we print stuff. You print stuff up, but maybe the T-shirt is even. For those. I mean, should we? We could just use our name and not make Ed have to like mail things and spend money or whatever. But if we have them said, you can use this T-shirt as your special invite. Yes, you're going to pay. You're going to be in this special, exclusive little group, but you get to go. I know the way Gmail started and lots of other people, it's like you could only get in unless you got some sort of exclusive invite. And obviously, we don't want to make it so hard that people can't go. And actually, Ed, back then, I said, so how do you know where it is? You got to just, at the time, it was, you got to just wait until it pops up on Twitter. So it was like, oh my God. So it's like I was searching Twitter and then it like popped up and it's like, there it is. So obviously we wouldn't make it too hard, but those are maybe some version of it being this exclusive thing. And when all the slots are gone, you just, you can't go. You can't network with this really cool group.
Another idea too is to have a promotion code that's going to save them, because I don't know what it is now. I got an early bird. But maybe there's something that instead of the, $150, whatever it is, that we're giving them not quite early bird, but we're taking them, $10 off or something like that. So, again, like what Jess said, that it's exclusive, that they heard it from somebody and we're saving them $10 with a promo code versus them going online themselves and finding it.
Lisa, that's that leads me back to something that Richard sent me a note about, asking me, if we were going to have any kind of a special price. And what I was, thinking about that after Richard sent me an email about that, tell me if this would work. I mean, because I don't want to make this thing too difficult and I don't want to create a bunch of work for Aiden on our website. But suppose I put up a page that was like, quote, a secret page. It's just, there'd be no navigation to it. And the only way that somebody would find it is if you guys, the ambassadors, gave them the link. And then I could put up a PayPal buy button. And what is it? Right now it's $125, maybe to really excite people. Say, I've got the special code, and it's going to be maybe $99, and it's going to be only good maybe March and April.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to keep it. I just and then is March, April okay? Okay.
Yeah, it's still early bird, and maybe it's through the meeting year, because our year ends in May, so it's March, April, and May. That gives us 3 times to promote it with the code.
Well, let me just go March, April. And
okay, that's fine.
I'm kind of looking at, I think next year, as I told everybody, this is not a lifetime appointment, but I hope it to be a long-term appointment. And so let's figure out what's going to work this year and not. And then after the convention, and maybe even at the convention, we can get together and refine this. So I'll tell you what, this weekend, I'll get up a page and I'll have a 2019 membership buy button for $99. And I'll say, this is something like, this page is is extended to you as a special invitation from your chapter ambassador, and something like that. And then I'll get it off to everybody. I'll send an email to everybody, and you have it. And then the only way people can find that deal, and I don't want to promote it anywhere. I don't want to put it on. I mean, if you want to put it on your chapter social media, that's fine. But I don't want to put it like in the Cigar Peg social media, or I don't want to put it in NSA social media. If you want it just for your chapter, that's fine. Does everybody
tell people you gotta ask me for the special link, and it's going to go away. But I can only give it to certain people or something like that. You got to ask me. And they're like, oh my! If it's just there, it's like I don't know. I'll think about it.
Well, I'm gonna leave that
something.
I'm gonna leave that to each of you at the chapter level. I've said a number of times, I don't want to dictate how this happens. I want to give you guys, here's what I'd like to see happen, and then give you the tools and let you guys figure out how you want to do it. That's, and I will get some kind of cards done, which, just has the link to the website, cigarpeg/join, logo, just basic information. And I can make up a bunch of those, then mail them out to each of you. That's easy enough to do.
The nice thing about this, Ed, is it's combining Lisa's idea with Jess's. If we just say discount, I don't know, for some reason, discount and Cigar Peg don't resonate together in my brain. But the referral, hey, I can get you in. Now it's still kind of, it's maybe not a ultra secret club, but this is a private club that you need an invitation to get into. I think upscale people are used to that. Okay. Very good.
Yeah, and I would go along with using bit.ly or using some kind of shortening, so we can just say, go to bit.ly Cigar Peg discount or something, so it doesn't have a whole lot of letters and numbers and all that crap in it for the.
Yeah, I'll do something easy like cigarpeg.com/ maybe ambassador or something like that.
Okay, yeah, that would work.
Is that okay? Cigarpeg/
as long as they can spell ambassador.
Well, I mean, how about this? How about if I do cigarpeg.com/secret?
There you go. There you go.
I like it.
Ed, to this end, a couple things I could use. One would be, in going to my chapter, as you and I have talked, my chapter is a little, how do we say, very hands-off when it comes to Cigar Peg.
Yes.
And I think you called me because I was the only one from Northern California you could think of.
Well, that's true.
And that is very true. And I've talked to, from the first time I went, it was my first convention, which was Washington. I discovered this group, and it was the greatest group of people. And they embraced me more than my own chapter did. And when I got my CSP 2 years ago, on my left and my right were two buddies from Cigar Peg. And, there was only one person from my chapter in the room when I got it. So I'm a huge believer, because this group brings people together in a far greater way. So two things would be really helpful to me. One would be an FAQ. I got that statistic that we've donated $666,000. Actually, I'd like to have another number rather than 666, but I'm going to just say over
next year you'll have another number.
Okay. Because they're already suspicious as it is.
I couldn't resist. It was just...
No, that's fair. If we all could have a FAQ page with just all the things that Cigar Peg has done, does do. Also, if... and I'm not as deeply involved as a lot of you are, but I don't know how the charities are chosen, or if members have an opportunity to suggest charities and be part of the process. That would be great. And then
I'll just answer that real quick. No.
Okay, fair enough. And then to the point you were all making about a way to entice people, what I would rather have than some secret discount thing, I'd like to have a chit that I could secretly hand to someone, kind of like Jess was saying, where it would be, all right, you can come for free one night and come check it out. I think showing up and meeting people is a bigger draw than oh, you'll get a discount on this membership to this nonprofit, if that's possible.
You know, we tried that about 3 or 4 years ago, and it really didn't give us anything. You know, let's think about that, because here's the deal. Letting somebody up, it's almost like they kind of need to decide before they get there. You know, and when we did that, and we had people come up, we drink a booze, and then they didn't join. And it's like, I don't know, what maybe somebody else pipe up on that. What are somebody else's?
I think that it would be easy to, I mean, if somebody had a free night, it'd be easy to not join. That's on the free night. I think if they get an exclusive invite, or if they like, hey, my invite, you'll save a little bit of money, or if you do it by like right away or whatever it is, then okay, great. I just know it'd be like, great, I'll go somewhere, I'll have some free drinks, and I don't know, think about it for next year.
Well, how about giving them a chip for a free drink, if that's okay with the bartender?
It should be like on a case-by-case basis, I think.
I don't know. I mean, is there?
You know, maybe there's a guest wristband for the one night the guest wristband with two cocktails, or one cocktail or something like that, so that it's so that they're not coming in drinking all night and then, like Jess said, so think about this for next year. It's like, no, you're having fun. If you want the other colored wristband, then go pay your $95 or $120 and join us.
Yeah, it sounds confusing.
Okay.
I disagree, because I think that, for one thing, it's devaluing the people who are decisive.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, true.
And I think that, we're so used to this try before you buy kind of thing, but this is something that either it's going to sound intriguing or it's not.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, then going in for one night and meeting people, it's
agree.
every other networking event that you go to. It's like, oh, I'm going to go to another networking thing. I'm going to schmooze with some people, have a drink, and then I'm going to go off and do something else. That's not really what we're trying to build with Cigar Peg. So I don't see how this is really going to help us to continue to build the community that we've got.
Well, I don't disagree with any of you. It just, I've run into so much resistance from my end. And part of it is, I have to explain over and over, no, most people there don't smoke cigars.
Yeah, and that, going back to the FAQ that somebody suggested, I think that 2 top questions we should have in the FAQ is, I don't smoke, I don't drink. Why would I go to Cigar Peg?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Well, there is a light, I believe, coming at the end of this little tunnel, because I joined NSA 16 some years ago, and back then they had all the pegs.
Right.
I was looking at any of the ones that seemed relevant to me, and it's like, what was it, $25 each? Okay, I'll do this one and this one and this one. And then I saw people walking around with the cigar peg, and it's like, why didn't I see that on the list? So I go back, and it's like, it's not on the list. Well, I saw some of my fellow Utah NSAers, and it's like, what's up with this cigar? Oh, they're the bad boys. And go, oh, you really don't want to go there. Well, it's like, thanks for the tip. How do I find my way to this? And my chapter, they just did it at our meeting. They get up, and their idea of going to national is they go together, they stay together, they bond together. And I keep trying to tell them, if you're going to national, say hello to your fellow, Mountain West people, but go meet other people. That's what national conference is all about, and they won't do it. Yeah, they planned their dinner on the same night as the Cigar Peg banquet. But here's the light at the end of the tunnel. Our incoming president for the chapter, Rob Ferre, his moniker is the life of the party. He knows how to get things going. He's a DJ. He does some amazing things. and he was there at Cigar Peg. You folks wanted him back. Well, he's the incoming president, so I want to have a conversation with him. Like, you've been inside now. You know who these people are, and our chapter has a negative stigma against this. So can you use your gift and help make this the life of the party?
Sure. I think that every chapter is going to be a little bit different. Everybody's story is going to be a little different. It's just, I don't think there's any one thing that's going to work for everybody. I'm just trying to throw out some tools that make sense for most people. And, my goal is personally, we've got, 70 people registered right now. My goal is when we go to convention, between the benefactors and the members, to have 200 people registered. That's all. Because at the convention, because NSA changed back to its old format, so we will have Saturday night, Sunday night to promote, to sell shirts, to get people to join, where the last 3 years we were missing one of the nights. So it will be a little bit easier for us now that we're going back to a party on Monday night instead of Sunday night. So the last 3 years, that's been a bit of a challenge. But again, here's the thing. At each chapter, don't feel obligated that you recruit 20 people. If you can influence 5 people more to go, 5 people who join Cigar Peg, if everybody on average, and I realize it's going to be different from chapter to chapter, but if everybody on average influenced 5 more people, that'd be enough. We don't need huge numbers. So, don't feel the pressure that, oh my gosh, I'm letting Ed and Cigar Peg down if I don't get 30 people. It's really just keep your eye on the membership list, and it's just, if we can get that again between benefactors and regular members by convention at 200, we're good.
Hey, Ed, just one other thought, and it's obviously better for you if you have people signed up before convention. But that first convention that I went to, when somebody was like, "I'll tell you about this exclusive group," maybe if we had a little card and said it's like a secret invite or something like that, or special invite, maybe special, and we say, "Hey, oh, you're brand new," or this is what was going through my mind a second ago. At one of the last conventions or two, I think a third of the people were brand new, had never been to a convention before. They showed up, they didn't know a single person. So it seems like it's a big chunk of people who are there. They would love to network with people. The reason why I went in the very beginning was because I didn't know anybody and I had 0 plans at night. I couldn't, who am I going to talk to? I have no idea. It's like, oh, you're instantly accepted into this group. Awesome. And they're the cool kids, even better. So maybe if you made a stack of business cards and we each had them in our pocket during the day. Oh, you're brand new. We're going to talk to people. Oh, it's your first convention. And they're usually wearing something that says like VIPs or a
timer VIP, yeah.
Exactly. And we can be like, oh, hey, okay. Hey, here's, I'm going to give you something special. It's a special invite. Yeah, it's a cost to attend, but you're going to have a place to go every single night. And then I guess we explain the thing. The person the way he explained it to me, the whole cigar thing was, I was like, oh, the Cigar Peg. And they're like, yeah, I think it's just a clever way to say we're going to hang out and we can have drinks, but maybe they shouldn't be calling it we're going to have drinks all night peg. And I was like, okay. And they're like, yeah, people go outside or something if they want cigars. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. That makes sense. Years ago, when Marcia Murdoch was the marketing director for NSA, she would send me the labels of all the first timers. And I would physically send them letters. And I was sending those letters all around the world. But when Marcia Murdoch left NSA, that stopped. And so that was always a great way and that's probably why we have so many Europeans, because the letters back in the day were the only invites that they ever got to anything. But, Jess, I don't think that's hard to do. I think that's it's very doable to have some kind of, for NSA first timers, check out this community.
Well, Stephen, is that something that can be reinstated to get the list of first timers to Ed?
It is not. We are now governed by regulations and policies that does not allow the association to give out contact information or names unless those individuals have checked a box that says, I give you permission to share my personal contacts.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they used to not, all which you would do is just send me labels, but that's okay. It's okay, because I think that if there's, 30 Cigar Peg chapter ambassadors out helping, and not only at your chapter, but at the convention, and having some cards to hand out to first timers, that's good enough. I think that makes sense. And that's a real easy, doable thing. That's not a hard thing at all. I mean, it's not much money. So, I've got 4 to-do items here. I've got a promotion page for $99 to join, and that's going to be good till that's going to be good March, April. You want some kind of physical card to give away at the chapter. We want to frequently ask questions page, and you want for the cards for at the convention. Also, just to let you know, probably about 5 years ago, NSA quit making really nice badge holders for the convention. So Cigar Peg started making them. Mary Lou has assured me that they're going to, because this last year they started up again making decent badge holders. She assured me that they're going to make nice badge holders. So I'm going to move us back to simply having Cigar Peg ribbons. So, but I do have a bit of Cigar Peg badge holders. So if any of you lost your badge holder and want a Cigar Peg badge holder, let me know. So again, let me know, and send me an email. It's like, okay, you want a badge holder or you don't? Yeah, that. You want, thank you, Aaron. You want some kind of a Cigar Peg shirt, kind of like what this one here that I'm sending to Dawn. You want, a selection of past event T-shirts, that I can. What is that, Aaron? What is that?
A hat. You ever make Cigar Peg hats?
Oh yeah, we've done that over the years. It's it's kind of mixed results. Some people like them, some people don't. Also, I've done sweatshirts. Would you rather have a hat, or would you rather have a zipped hoodie sweatshirt?
I'm someone who has to wear hats, so.
Yeah. And given conferences usually happen on the hottest day of the hottest month of the year.
Okay. I don't think, okay.
Hey, Ed, I just wanted to say last year in Dallas, that was my first Cigar Peg, and I had joined NSA the year before. So it was my first NSA conference, and I learned about the peg going to your Selling to Associations program that we had back in May of last year. And it was like, the first night in there, I recognized some people that I knew from your program, but Cabot Roberts, I think daughter or granddaughter, sat next to me on the couch and started chatting me up. David Newman, my coach, is there. It was really great to see people you know, you didn't have to go up and introduce yourself. People would come up and introduce themselves to you. And the camaraderie there was excellent. And the networking opportunity just for people asking what I do rather than me asking, you know, hey, give me a tip on this or that. It was well worth, you know, the membership rate for the few nights that I spent in the hospitality room with folks.
Great. Yeah, thanks. Hey, let me just, Colonel Dan, I know you're on mute right now. I haven't heard anything from you. I just wanted to just give you the opportunity. If you got anything you want to throw out there, feel free.
Yeah, I think the main reason that I started coming back to NSA is because of the cigar peg. And what I enjoyed most about it is just a little bit more intimate connection. The opportunity to continue conversations. I also, this is not for everyone, but I like to sit around in a group and smoke cigars and have really meaningful conversations. So you can do that out in the open area where there are no cigars, but it's just a chance to get connected for me. And I know I was president for the NSA DC chapter back in 2010, and I was able to get a lot of people coming. The last several years, we have had presidents that wasn't on the top of their list, and I think there were maybe in some cases a little bit anti-cigar peg. So I think, you know, when you do this brochure, I'd like to see the benefits highlighted. I think you'll do that, but it's to get connected, have fun, continue conversations, smaller group. You know, it's kind of overwhelming when you go to the convention. There's a lot of people there. So it's a chance to feel like you're connected. And that's the big thing for me. Connection, fun, chance to have even more exclusive conversations. I'm not sure I like the word exclusive, but have conversations out on the patio smoking cigars with really neat people.
Or those conversations, Dan, we have in Key West on my balcony that go deep.
Yeah, they go maybe a little deeper than we want to, but that's okay.
Kit, haven't heard much from you.
Yeah, I like the idea of it being perceived as somewhat of a secret handshake, an exclusive club. And the only reason I came, Ed, was that you invited me. I didn't even know it existed. So I came in, enjoyed it. I've come back every year, brought a few people along. And like you mentioned earlier, sometimes it's a good fit, sometimes it's not a good fit. So it's always kind of a risk. You know, you got to, I think, be somewhat selective of who you invite so they don't stink up the reputation just because they don't like it. So I think not only the invitation should allude that it's somewhat exclusive, but I think we have to be somewhat selective too with the type of person we're inviting, that it actually will be a good fit for them, because I think it's intimidating for some people.
Okay. Lisa, haven't heard much from you.
I think that when I first joined Cigar Peg, I think I came my second influence for the first time, which was probably 2012. And nobody in NSA Ohio, you know, went to Cigar Peg. Again, reputation preceded us. And to me, it just sounded like fun. I don't even know how I first found out about it, but, you know, I just really liked having the smaller group, because it can be kind of intimidating. You know, you can either party with 1,500 people or, you know, have a couple drinks with 40 or 50 or, you know, 90, for many are in the suite at the time. Since then, I've invited several people to come to the peg with me, you know, but usually they're my roommates, but I talk it up. I talk it up at the chapter. Being a past president of Ohio, they have given me they generally give me time and I can say what I want. So I did at the last meeting as well. I think that even though you don't want to necessarily say that, you know, this is the naughty arm of NSA, kind of with with the cigars and alcohol and stuff. You do need people that are not easily offended. So, sure. And so that's, I think, just being smart as far as when somebody is interested in Cigar Peg, that you don't make it all, unicorns and roses and stuff, because if somebody's, going to get pissed off when somebody drops an F-bomb, then we probably shouldn't invite them.
Okay.
Well, Lisa, I think you bring up a good point. So it's, I kind of have my own way of handling this, but Ed, how would you have us handle the whole, and maybe this is an FAQ thing, like the whole bad boy thing, or, oh, those people are out of control, and kind of all the stigma that really doesn't hold right now?
No, it doesn't.
I'm gonna answer that, and then right after I answer that, I want to go to Lisa Leilis. Michael, what I've always done is said, hey, we're the most inclusive group at NSA. However, while everybody's invited, we acknowledge that this is not for everybody. And we're really looking for people that are fun people. And I flat out say that. And, and sometimes I'll say, if somebody asks, I say, if you're not a fun person, you're not going to have fun. You're not going to want to join. And that kind of, that raises the gauntlet for them to say, hey, I'm a fun person. I'm a person that, that enjoys a good time. And, that's how, I've approached it, for a lot of years. I've also approached, let's go back 10 years ago. I used to just go around the NSA convention and all the cute young new chicks, invite them so the old guys would have more fun spending their money in front of the cute young chicks. And, it's, yeah, kids over there going, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. But it's just, and it's just kind of evolved. So I just, Michael, I really think it's, everybody's invited. This is not for everybody. And if you're a fun person, you'll probably enjoy it. Lisa, Leilis, I want to go to you and just, what are your thoughts or comments? And then after Lisa, I want to go to Richard.
Okay. I like everything that's being said. One idea that I was thinking of is along the line of having that, whatever it is, maybe $99 secret special for new members if they're referred to by us. Why not have a place on that card with where if we're handing someone, like I think Jess was saying, there's so many new people, like a third of the people at the convention are brand new. So if we are sitting next to someone at the luncheon or whatever, we get to talking. If we give them that card, and maybe on the back there's a little box that we can put in the secret room number with the suite number, and then sign our name as an ambassador. With that card, they are allowed that same discount that night. If they go up, maybe Friday or Saturday night, if they go up, they can get the $99 special with that card signed by an ambassador. I don't know, just for
that's kind of cool that would write the room number, like here's this special secret thing.
Yeah, and they have to have a card. It has to be signed by the ambassador. So so they didn't just find a stack of cards somewhere. But it makes it very exclusive. Yeah,
put some blood on it.
Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of people there. There's going to be people that are new there that maybe don't even go to chapters that are checking out the national convention. So just to get some last minute, yeah.
And I think to glom onto that, if we also limited it to first timers to convention, so they, that way you've got a very small pool that you're pulling from, that gives them a definite draw in and could get them to come back to convention again, etc.
Maybe a VIP special or something.
Right.
Yeah, something that would be fine. I don't see any problem with that. So just to make sure, and Richard, I'm going to come to you next, and then Peter after that. So just to make sure I got it, print up some kind of a card that that you give out, that the ambassadors will give out, and it's pretty much going to be, you guys are going to, maybe some of the Cigar Peg staff might have them, but that will be something you can give out to influence first timers that if they come up to the suite, and I might make it only maybe like one of the nights or something. I'll play around with that, and I'll talk to some of the staff on this. And then that they come up and bring that, and it's signed by the ambassador, and it's got the room number written in, then they get that special price. Is that? Yeah, I think that that's doable. Now, just remember, you know, I just want everybody to know that when we look at the finances of this, it costs about $160 to $175 to service each member of the Cigar Peg, to pay for the suite, to pay for the party, all that. So just so you know, when we give a $99 deal, we're losing about, it's costing us about $75 to do it. Not that I'm afraid of doing it, because it's great to bring people on, but and that's why I kind of changed the membership thing a little bit for this year, based on what Terry Brock had suggested, that, the people that are dyed in the wool supporters, giving them the deal, and the people that just kind of show up, they pay more. But I think it makes sense, because it gives you guys a reason to talk to people, and it makes it more exclusive if you're giving them some kind of a special, chit to get in. And I'd rather do that than give them a free night in the suite. So great, Richard, you want to? You got to.
Sure. I think y'all had some really great ideas. I really appreciate y'all sharing. One of the things that I've always appreciated out of the Cigar Peg is that I get clarity of purpose when I attend the convention and hear from a smaller group what their perspective is, what their intentions are for that convention, what their track is that year, what they're working on for their presentations and their subjects. And I think that when you go to a smaller group like the Cigar Peg, it's easier to filter through all of the stuff that's going on at the convention and hear from other people about what is their approach to attending the convention? What is it that they got out of it? What is it that I can learn from not one person, but a couple of people talking in a smaller group at the Cigar Peg? Not that I'm going to follow what they say, but I'm going to hear what they say, incorporate that into what I want to do, and then maybe that gives me a little bit more direction. When you are out in the halls, it's hard to just say anything other than I'm overwhelmed. You've all heard it. You probably all said it at one time or another. And when you say I'm overwhelmed and then the people walk off, you're still overwhelmed. You're not left with anything. When you say that in the Cigar Peg groups, people hear you and they respond. And sometimes they have really good responses that help you work through that fog and bring clarity of thought, clarity of purpose. So maybe that's another theme. Obviously, the philanthropy is one theme, the networking is another theme, and maybe hearing clarity of purpose is another theme.
That's great.
That's fine.
That's a great benefit. Thank you. Yeah, that's great. Hey, Peter Stark, good to see you on. I haven't heard from you yet. Any thoughts?
No, I think all of the ideas are good in terms of recruiting people. I think mainly for me, it's just the focus of telling people more about it, because I don't think I've done a good job of doing that. But when you made me the ambassador for San Diego, I knew that that's a full-time job, because I think both members somewhere in the convention that are attending, make sure they come to the.
Very good. Let's see who else. I haven't heard much from Chris Price. Are you at a phone, or are you at a place where you can talk?
Yeah, and I'll try to talk without coughing. Like I said, I'm under the weather with the flu, but a couple of comments. Michael, I really appreciated your story early on, and I was, kind of thinking about, ways that we can, share these different stories. But then everybody has a different story about Cigar Peg. I mean, we're like a kaleidoscope of the different things that we get out of it. And I think that kind of gets to our role as ambassadors, is really talking to people and helping to understand, what do they want? What do they want from convention? Do they want to have a good time? Do they want to have deeper conversations? Do they like cigars? Do they not? Whatever it may be, and just kind of helping them understand that whatever your needs are for connecting with people and having probably the best time of the convention, you could get that at Cigar Peg. And so it's kind of hard to pin down in what is Cigar Peg because it's something different for everybody.
Sure, that makes sense. Thank you, Chris. Anybody else want to throw anything out there before we wrap this up? Because we're at an hour. It doesn't mean we have to stop, but that's.
Yeah, I want to.
I was reminded by a couple of the stories. The very first time I went to convention, and for whatever it was, 2-3 days, I'm the type person, I just go up and introduce myself to people to find out who they are. And I was bombarded with people telling me who they were and what they were about and all of their accomplishments. And then I go up to the Cigar Peg, and I was kind of anticipating that it was going to get even worse. And it was 180 degrees different. Not one person in that suite really wanted to talk about themselves. They wanted to know who I was, what brought me to convention, what was I into. And I really started noticing the dichotomy that speakers like to present. Cigar Peg people like to get to know you. Is there a good reason to continue the conversation?
Good.
Yeah, that's good.
Good point. Thanks, Barry. Anybody else have anything that they want to share before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I want to just chime in real quickly because I've actually got somebody that will be here momentarily to meet with me. But two things. One is on the chapter front is as an ambassador is to really be to really just become more aware of who might be interested in going to Influence and going to convention from a chapter level, because a lot don't either know about it or plan on going. So it's an opportunity to see who's serious about their business and serious about, playing with the cool kids, even at convention. And that's kind of the first thing. And then, before even getting to the whole Cigar Peg conversation. And then the second thing is that I'm going to find out at 3:30 Eastern today whether I'm going to be leading the buddy program at convention, in which case I'll then be having a lead role in the first timers session as well, because one kind of goes hand in hand with the other. And then if that's the case, I get an opportunity to talk about my story and talk about Cigar Peg, in front of a few hundred people that are first timers, which is really cool. And then I'd ask you if you might step up as being a buddy, right? Because now if you're a buddy, you might have 1 or 2 first timers that you're now helping, mentoring, as it were, in terms of the convention. And then, oh, by the way, as part of your story is that you can add the Cigar Peg piece. So just something to be aware of. It may end up being a moot point if 3:30 doesn't play out the way I think it could, but I have a feeling I'm going to be doing it.
That would be great. That would be great. That's, Michael, that's you running the buddy program the last few years on and off when NSA lets you do it. That's worked out pretty well. It's given a lot of Cigar Peg people a chance to talk about that. And, even I remember when you hooked me up with Michelle Villalobos. I mean, she ended up, because of Dale on the stage the first year, she's become Cigar Peg high roller now, and it's all because of the buddy.
Yep. Yeah, so, awesome.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to any thoughts, just real quick? I was thinking about just posting this on the Cigar Peg website. Maybe just have Aiden put up an ambassador's navigation tag and just put all the stuff up. I don't think it needs to be private because I don't think we're talking about anything that if somebody heard isn't an issue or would be an issue. But what I will do is I will send everybody an email with the link to this as soon as I get it up. And people that didn't get to it, they can listen in. Any other thoughts before we close this thing up? I want to again thank everybody for taking the time to be here. Thank everybody for participating. And again, please send me a note if you want some kind of a shirt. Send me a note if you want a convention badge, even though NSA is going to be doing them again this year. Send me a note if you'd like some past Cigar Peg event t-shirts to use to give away. And the last thing is I'm going to be working on sometime in the next little bit of time, some kind of a polo shirt or a camp shirt that will be, instead of this up here, it'll say Cigar Peg Chapter Ambassador rather than Philanthropy Through Fun. As we move forward, if anybody's got any strong thoughts about what it should be, catch me privately and let's talk about it. Because if we do it here, then we're going to have 20 different ideas on what to do. With that being said, anybody else have any other comments before I close this thing down?
Hey, thank you for what you do, Ed.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for saying so.
Yes. Looking forward to seeing everybody.
Okay, very good. And just to let you know, there's going to be another call like this next Friday. You don't need to be on it, but you're welcome to be. And just for some of the people that weren't able to jump in on this one, if you can make it, that'll be great. It'll be, what time is it, Michael? 4 o'clock Eastern time? Yeah, 4 o'clock Eastern time next Friday.
Yeah.
So, okay, everybody. Hey, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Bye-bye now.
All right. Have a good weekend.